Hi, Ben's friends. It's me, Jody. I have a song for you, and we used to sing this when I was a teacher, and it's a song called Aiken Drum. And you can sing this song using any kind of food, but because it's Passover, I decided to use Passover food. So, it's about a man that lives in the moon, and his name is Aiken Drum, and he plays upon a ladle. He has a ladle instead of a guitar or a ukulele, and his name is Aiken Drum. So here we go. I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you all the different food that I have for Aiken Drum. Things you might have seen at the Passover Seder. We have some wine cups, some chocolate matzah, some matzah, gefilte fish, some salt water, some parsley, some charoset, some eggs, some beets or a shank bone might have been on your Seder plate, some lettuce, some matzah balls, and some maror, some horseradish. So here we go. And the song has always started this way since I've been singing it. And it starts with Aiken Drum, and his head is made out of cream cheese. So here we go. You guys can sing along with me. It goes like this. There was a man lived in the moon, lived in the moon, lived in the moon. There was a man lived in the moon, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon his ladle, his ladle, his ladle. He played upon his ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his head was made of cream cheese, of cream cheese, of cream cheese. His head was made of cream cheese, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his body, what was his body made out of? His body was made, let's say, matzah. And his body was made of matzah, of matzah, of matzah. His body was made of matzah, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his arms were made of, what could his arms be made of? How about lettuce? And his arms were made of lettuce, of lettuce, of lettuce. His arms were made of lettuce, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his legs. What were his legs made out of? Let's see. What could we pick? How about some wine cups? Some Kiddush cups. Put some Kiddush cups up there for his legs. They would make good legs. And his legs are made of Kiddush cups, of Kiddush cups, of Kiddush cups. His legs were made of Kiddush cups, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon his ladle, his ladle, his ladle. He played upon his ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his eyes. His eyes were made of eggs, of eggs, of eggs. His eyes were made of eggs, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his nose was made of salt water, of salt water, of salt water. His nose was made of salt water, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his mouth was made of maybe a shank bone. A shank bone, a shank bone, a shank bone. His mouth was made of a shank bone, and his name was Aiken Drum. Now, how about his hands? Did he have some hands? How about chocolate matzah for hands? And his hands were made of chocolate matzah, of chocolate matzah, of chocolate matzah. His hands were made of chocolate matzah, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his hair was made of, let's see. How about gefilte fish? His hair was made of gefilte fish, of gefilte fish, of gefilte fish. His hair was made of gefilte fish, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his feet. Did he have some feet? How about maror feet? That would look funny. Let's see. Some maror feet there. Another foot made of maror. There, and there we go. And his feet were made of maror, maror, maror. And his feet were made of maror, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his buttons, maybe he had some buttons. His buttons were made of matzah balls, of matzah balls, of matzah balls. His buttons were made of matzah balls, and his name was Aiken Drum. And what else did he have? Did he have some ears? Maybe they were made out of parsley. And his ears were made of parsley, of parsley, of parsley. His ears were made of parsley, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon his ladle, his ladle, his ladle. He played upon his ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And the fun thing about Aiken Drum is you don't need a felt story to play it. You could play it with real food, or you could just play it in your imagination. But as long as you play upon your ladle and you have some fun with Aiken Drum. We'll see you later. Hag Sameach!